Hello and welcome to Culture Shock, the pop culture podcast brought to you by three aging millennials and our outdated opinions. I'm your host, Corey. With me today is...
Hey, I'm Adrian. And I think the real piss jar is the friends we made along the way.
I'm General Mike. And I will find him!
Do you guys know the oldest lie in America? That Henry Cavill will always be our Superman. Due to there being a copyright claim on our music all of a sudden, lame, we have to go out and find a different song, lame. We may even have to pay somebody for it, lame. But until then, just enjoy the episode. And as always, thank you for listening.
Take on me.
Take on me.
Nice. That's our music now, guys. We don't have
okay.
music, remember?
I mean, we may as well use it. Everything else gets copyrighted.
You think Hans Zimmer would be cool if we just used the score from Man of Steel for our...
Probably.
He'd be fine with that.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Hans Zimmer doesn't know. He's not American. He doesn't understand our freedoms.
He didn't celebrate 4th of July.
Was ist das Scheiße? I'm sorry, Hans.
Anyway, if you guys didn't get it from that, because why the fuck would you have?
Yeah, how could you not get that?
We're doing another good idea, bad idea episode on Man of Steel from Zack Snyder, and then the very famous follow-up, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, that everybody loved.
Yeah, of course.
So we're going to go through
idea.
this, and we're going to decide if we liked these movies as much as some people did. I don't know. I know there's a lot of fans out there. I actually personally have friends of mine that are huge fans of Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel. So,
Well, there are also people that anytime Zack Snyder comes out with something, they go,
oh,
true.
they deep
That's
throat Zack Snyder so hard.
We'll talk about that. But...
Before...
Nick, I love you, Nick.
Well, let me
was I
just say
gonna
real
say
quick,
now?
Mike.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
while you think of that, let me just say, tentatively, we came up with this because we're all going to be seeing the new Superman movie.
Yes!
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
What the fuck was that?
Corey's very squeaky today. Yes. But we're gonna all be seeing the new Superman. We're gonna do an episode on that. So we wanted to lead into that with some Superman content.
Oh.
And I realized, because we just came up with this, calling it good idea, bad idea might not necessarily be true.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that don't like Man of Steel. So to say good idea is already going to piss some people off.
Well, for that, let me just go ahead and bring up the IMDb rankings of Man of Steel.
Let's instead call this the maybe this was a good idea idea.
All right, so Man of Steel on IMDb currently sits at a 7.1. So
Okay.
that's
Critic.
I mean, that's pretty respectful.
Oh, it's
Well,
IMDb.
The IMDb, yeah. Well, that's what we go off of usually.
Yeah,
so-
absolutely.
Um,
7.1.
yeah. And then Dawn of Justice, because I refuse to call it Batman versus Superman. I mean, Dawn of Justice is a 6.4. It's not. It doesn't even qualify as a
Okay.
bad movie
Yeah.
First of all, Cockstain, they fight.
for like not even 10% of the movie.
You want okay, a 3-hour movie. You want them
Yeah.
to fight for a half an hour?
Yes.
I mean, Freddie
There
and
should
Jason
have
did
been-
it.
There should have been more fighting because
That's
we
not
got,
an
we got-
accurate percentage, I just said.
We got like 10 to 15 minutes of them fighting, and then the really unnecessary ending that came up afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
we'll get to that
What
one.
what I
Yeah.
wanted to say is, I remembered finally when I saw a lot of the stuff for Batman versus Superman. I'll call it that if it makes Corey happy. When the first trailers and stuff started coming out, and I heard about Jesse Eisenberg was cast as Lex Luthor.
Yes.
As a huge Eisenberg fan, because I've loved him in just about everything I've seen him in. He's such a phenomenal actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, a guy like him 100% could pull off a fucking evil Lex Luthor.
Mhm.
So what we got instead was a Jim Carrey knockoff of the Jim Carrey Riddler.
What we
I
got
don't
is
know-
one of the best
I don't know
Riddlers ever put
why.
to screen.
I don't know why we got that.
Yeah.
The Zack Snyder really doesn't know who Lex Luthor is, clearly.
Okay.
Anyway,
We actually got the best Riddler ever put to screen because Jim Carrey wasn't Riddler.
that's true. That's true.
Jim Carrey was Joker.
See,
So-
Jim Carrey
Yeah,
as the
that's-
Riddler
this
was
is a
the
messed up
Joker,
world, guys.
and Eisenberg as Lex Luthor was actually the Riddler. So I mean, it really was crazy.
And do you know what's even worse about Jesse Eisenberg being such a good Riddler? He could have been the Riddler in this movie.
Yeah.
Batman's in the movie.
The hair was
Yeah.
even perfect.
Yes,
I think
he
they
was-
wanted to make the Riddler.
Like now I will say this for those who aren't familiar with Superman lore, Lex Luthor is 100% a redhead before he goes bald.
Yeah.
Now
I don't
I don't-
care.
I don't know what depending on
I'm gonna go on a limb and say I don't give a shit.
depending what iteration of Superman you are looking at. Either Lex Luthor purposely shaves his head or he does go bald for whatever reason.
Right. The chemotherapy. No, I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's a story.
There's many things. Well, and you know what? We'll be talking about this a lot. This can be one of my bingo cards, but we will be talking about it a lot. One, because actors from this show have made many cameos in both Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure there's going to be some in the new Superman movie when we watch it too. In fact, I know one of them for sure has a voice in it. I just don't know what the fuck he's voicing.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm convinced. I'm convinced about Heisenberg's casting. I think people said they wanted Heisenberg and they misheard. So Jesse Eisenberg, because Bryan Cranston was rumored at the time, like
Cranston would have been phenomenal.
Oh, dude, come on!
I can see that being like a board meeting thing where they're like, "Get me Heisenberg," and the one guy's like, "Jesse Eisenberg is a good idea."
Yeah.
They're like, wait, the kid from the fucking Magic movie? Yeah. Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
you mean that guy in fucking Adventureland? That the guy kind of looks like Michael Cera?
And then the guys at the round table, they don't actually watch movies. So they're like, yeah, that guy. Yeah, the one from whatever movie you said. Sure.
Yeah.
And then they bring him in. That's not Bryan Cranston.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Well, we already signed a contract with him. We're stuck with him.
That's the true story of how Jesse Eisenberg got Lex Luthor.
Well, I know Eisenberg hates this movie
say my name.
because I know he hates this movie because he has said that this movie has cost him a lot of shit. Like he hasn't been able to get the kind of roles he was used to be able to in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
I understand why.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like that's a bit whiny.
Mm-hmm.
He could have gone out there and still got himself work. This did not destroy his acting career.
Yeah, it probably took away starring roles for him.
I think it took away his confidence to
I'm sure.
lead.
Yeah.
I don't think that Hollywood was like, that was a terrible Lex Luthor. We don't like you anymore.
Yeah, right.
That didn't happen.
This is what I think has probably happened because just knowing, I think Eisenberg's probably kind of like a bit of a pretentious snob.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why he does those rules so well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if he's like actually like a really nice person or whatnot. I'm just saying based off of interviews I've seen with him and everything.
We're just saying he plays a good Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. I'm just saying from what I could see from his personality just in interviews, I think what probably happened is
you can see the smudginess.
He was probably getting offered roles, but he probably felt he was too good for them, and the roles he wanted, he was getting snubbed for because of.
I could see that. Like he's being offered work, but he doesn't think it's good enough work. Like it's not what he's looking for.
That's what I mean.
Other actors,
I could see that. Like I said, I think he lost a lot of starring roles from this.
I'm going to say other actors, and I'm going to drop another bingo card like Ryan Reynolds. He fell into the same situation after Green Lantern.
Right.
But he kept fucking working until he turned.
Yeah, exactly. He took the roles he could get.
Yeah.
And Jesse Eisenberg was in a movie last year. Did we talk about this on the pod or was that before?
I think it was before.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention it's called A Real Pain.
I was gonna say you might have mentioned it in our like little.
Yeah, but he was in like an Oscar worthy movie last year with Kieran Culkin called A Real Pain.
Is that maybe that won the Oscar?
It didn't win. Honora won.
No, I mean Kieran Culkin. Didn't he?
Oh, I think that's what he won for. Yeah,
I think he won for that movie.
Yeah, best supporting.
So there was at least an Oscar for that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Eisenberg might be back on the rise. He might be back because look, we're getting a Now You See Me 3 at the end of the year, which Corey and I are very looking forward to.
Hell yeah, dude!
We'll do like a series rewatch.
Thank God it's not called How You See Me 3 though.
No, it's How You See Me.
Finally,
now you don't.
The title we were supposed to get for the second one.
Yeah. Now we just have this awkward middle chapter of Now You See Me Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this fucking
Now You See Me Too.
What is this, Rambo? Fucking yeah, but it's Rambo First Blood, but it's actually Rambo comes out.
And then just Rambo's the fifth one.
Yeah, that's like the fifth one when he's older.
And Sylvester Stallone will also do a sixth Rocky called Rocky Balboa.
But that's the sixth one.
But it's the sixth one.
That was just called Balboa, right?
It was called Balboa, yeah.
Balboa, yeah.
See, and actually, it's perfect. His series
God.
started Rocky, ended Balboa.
If you watch Rocky and then Balboa, it's Rocky Balboa.
I'm telling you, bro. Sylvester Stallone, dude's got some big ideas up here.
Fuck.
So yeah, I was pretty excited to see Jesse Eisenberg play Lex Luthor. I'm just really upset that this is what we got.
Yeah. You were excited about the casting when you heard it.
Yeah, I was excited about the casting.
As much as I love Lex Luthor, the character, and Jesse Eisenberg, I was against it from day one.
Yeah, I also was not
I
a
wanted
fan.
to believe that Jesse Eisenberg could pull it off. And I told everybody who asked me, like I had talks about this. I was working at Matrix at the time. Huge nerdy building, all of us talking about superhero stuff. And I had to defend that I think he could possibly pull it off. But I was never happy with the casting. I never wanted Jesse Eisenberg to be Lex. I didn't think he looked the part, or he kind of has I like the Lex that's cocky, like it looks like Nicholas Holt's going to be.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, God.
But Jesse Eisenberg is a different kind of cocky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't like that for Lex.
I think if Eisenberg would have just basically did the exact same Zuckerberg type character in this movie, it would have worked well.
A more serious, like methodical, thought out cocky instead of
less
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Don't
you're
get me
saying
wrong.
less zany, less like cartoony, and more like just like I'm smarter than you.
There were some small moments that I will say this. I was trying to rewatch both these movies. I got through Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I got through most of Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
So I did see some. There were some Eisenberg Luthor moments that kind of made me go, huh, okay, that's kind of clever.
And he's got a couple bars in the movie. He's got some good quotes.
There's the one he says to
great quotes.
Great quotes.
There's one he says to Superman when they're on top of the helipad that I was like, oh
yes,
okay.
that is the one scene that I believed in him.
You liked
because
him
there? he blackmails him into doing what he wants. And then when he says, "Where is she?" I love that.
Oh,
he goes, I don't know. I told him not to tell me.
Yeah.
And then when he finally kneels to look at the pictures, the way he says, "And now the God kneels before me."
Yeah.
And like puts his hand around his head but never touches him. It's like that was Lex. He was Lex in that moment. But there are a lot of times when feeding the fucking guy the cherry.
Yeah, that was
rancher,
weird.
That's not
It was
Lex.
a very weird choice.
Yeah, that was too much.
Hey, piss in a jar and call it Granny's peach tea for all
that was. I mean,
that was funny.
That was clever though. He took something she said and used it against her. That is
right.
A very
it was clever.
Lex Luthor.
And then
Luthor thing to do.
And then she looked at his chair and he was missing.
Yeah.
But fuck, what was it? Someone said it's the funniest thing. They're like, dude, what if like Superman just came into that courtroom and he's like, I smell a jar of piss somewhere.
You know what's funny to me is Lex at home was probably watching that news and it blew up.
Yeah.
And he's like, haha, the peach tea thing. What if she didn't see it? How does he know she saw it? Like, he doesn't know if it
I'm
worked.
going to tell you right now, I guarantee you. Well, it was on TV, wasn't it? They were broadcasting that.
You couldn't
TV.
see the peach tea thing, though.
But
right.
You could see her if the thing was on her. You could see her turning something that was in front of her.
Yeah, that's fair. You could see her like
kind of. But even in that case, if he saw that she saw it, then what?
Right.
She died
anyway.
2 seconds later. The joke worked for 2 seconds.
I actually do like the canon more that he doesn't know, because like that would be like a Lex Luthor mindset. Like, I wonder if she even saw it.
I wonder if that.
Yeah, exactly. He's like such a badass. He doesn't even care if she saw it. He's just like, I just did it to be an ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would eat me alive. I'd be like, I hope she saw that.
And also her like demeanor changes after she's like that throws her off. You can see she's like, fumbling her words.
When she sees it sitting there and she starts to get like little Yeah.
And then the shot's really cool of like all the fire engulfed around Superman, and he just has his head down like he has to live through that.
He did not have enough time to do anything there.
No.
Well, he didn't know what was going on either, and he was blaming himself because he said he didn't even bother to look for it, but he wouldn't have been able to see it anyway.
Right.
If those who don't understand Superman lore, he cannot see through lead.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, the last thing about Eisenberg is like, it does suck for him because, like, the thing is, in the movie, he wasn't even, like, acting poorly. He was great. It's just what they wrote for him.
I think he did exactly what Snyder wanted him to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's Snyder that didn't get the character. It's not Jesse Eisenberg.
That's what I think, yeah.
If all the face twitches and wasn't his plan.
Right.
If that was a Jesse Eisenberg thing, I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's fair.
If that was
well,
written for
here's-
him, I don't blame him. But if that was his choice, I
That's
blame
one of those
him a
things.
little bit.
That's a good, like those little,
Yeah.
those little acting choices.
Sometimes
like,
that's
did you do
the
the
actor.
ticks? Did
But
you think like?
here's the thing? Here's the thing. Even if so, say that was his choice, Snyder should have stopped it. Like,
Yes, but
he's the director.
Snyder's not a great eye. He misses stuff, and like he may have just let Eisenberg do. I'll let him do what he wants. Maybe
Yeah.
this character will be beloved and loved, but you give certain actors too much direction.
Right.
You
Yeah, it's
gotta
like
you gotta let them have
it's
some
a-
You
creative
gotta let them
freedom.
have a little
as
bit,
a
yeah,
director,
but-
man, it's such like if you give him too much freedom, it could end up like really campy and a terrible performance.
Like
If you're too
Zack
strict,
Snyder.
Love and Thunder.
yeah. Or if you're too strict, you're going to drive them
Disagree.
away. Drive them away from the rule. So it is a fine balancer. Zack Snyder, in his defense, because we're going to say some bad stuff about these movies, his eye for cinematography and shit is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Like the action in these movies are really fucking good.
If you slow everything fucking down, of course everything looks beautiful.
Well, he didn't do the slow motion as much to me, and like he did it really bad in his Justice League.
In Man of Steel, he didn't do it really that bad at all.
Yeah, right. Man of
The
Steel, I
very
agree.
first fucking like 15 minutes of Dawn of Justice, it's
Yeah.
all fucking slow mo.
It is.
My,
This is a Snyder film.
Yep.
Speaking of which, my favorite Batman fighting scene from any Batman movie across any of them is
yes.
in the
The
warehouse.
warehouse.
Yeah.
So
When they go there, like they're trying to save Martha.
Why did you say that name?
The first of many
Dumbest-
plays of that, I'm sure.
Dumbest fucking plot device ever, by the way.
I disagree.
Guys, how do we
came up with a much. They could
Corey.
have come up with a much better way for them to stop fighting. Like, hey,
Wait.
maybe
Wait, we
Batman just realizes Superman's not an asshole. Like, he
Wait,
doesn't
we
have to,
got a hot take
not
on
what it
this.
was. It's not what it was.
Marta, because most people Muerta. Sorry. Thank you. I want a little Harry Floor in there. No, this is fun though, Corey. Let's hear the because even a lot of people that like this movie don't love the Martha thing. Some people do like it.
It's not a defense. First of all,
Okay.
it is dumb.
Well, you're kind of making in defense of, right?
It was more dumb, or it was less dumb than most people think it was.
You think it's like overblown?
It's overblown because yes, it was a dumb thing to take him off his tracks after hating him for blowing through all those buildings but think about it, like in Batman's eyes, all Superman has been this whole time is an alien who can't be trusted and will go through buildings, doesn't care about humans, like he'll do whatever he has to do to stop whoever he has to stop.
Right.
But in that moment when he's about to kill him, and she says that's his mom's name.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time Batman has seen that Superman has a human side.
Right.
He has a human mom. Oh, he's actually worried his mom will die. His just normal fucking American mom is gonna die.
New
He's
series coming
about to be
Fox this
stabbed
year,
in the
American
face,
Mom.
and the only thing Superman says is, "Save my mom."
Save Martha.
That's not a dangerous alien.
right.
Okay.
I mean, and to me, Batman is smart enough to be like, yes, the name Martha threw him off, and that's fucking dumb.
You want to know why that's fucking
That
dumb?
part of it's dumb. But
Yeah.
Batman finally seeing him as maybe not such a bad guy, that makes
Okay.
sense to me.
I understand that aspect. I can accept that, but yet it still goes to the fact that he was thrown off by the name Martha, which, by the way, the census says there's about roughly 151,671 people named Martha in the United
But
States.
you know the relevance of Martha to Batman.
I understand that, but like,
But that's
what are
my
the
point,
fucking
Mike, is
odds?
his mom, who he thinks
Yes.
about constantly probably, is named Martha. This alien he's trying to kill, his mom's name isn't it's Martha.
Wow.
It's a fucking middle of America white mom.
If you guys didn't see the Ultimate Edition, he said, "Save." Batman said, "Why'd you say that name?"
Say people.
That's my mom's name.
I will say this. Okay, so, and this is going to even go against me thinking it's dumb that it threw him off.
Yeah. In defense of.
When Superman lands, he calls him Bruce. He doesn't call him Batman.
Right.
So right then and there, Bruce Wayne knows that he knows he's Bruce Wayne.
Well, he had already pulled off his mask, right? And like,
That was a dream sequence.
oh, that was a dream
That
sequence.
was a dream
Sorry,
sequence.
yeah.
No. Clark knows that he's Bruce Wayne under the mask.
Yeah.
And now Bruce knows that Clark
knows.
I don't think,
but
I
he
don't
doesn't
think
know that.
He doesn't.
we know
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't know that he's Clark. But Bruce knows that Superman knows who he is. So
Right.
by him saying Martha, maybe I could see it being like, oh, well, if he knows who I am, why is he saying my mother's name? So I could see that.
Well, and I also see it like Batman, right? Or Bruce obviously has a ton of PTSD about his parents dying.
Yeah.
Wham.
Yeah, you would too if it happened right in
Yeah,
front
no,
of you.
you would.
You would too if
if
it
n-
happened to you.
If Negan and Maggie were killed in front of me, I would also have PTSD.
Yeah, that's true. Negan and Maggie were his parents. But I wonder how poor Glenn.
Hey, they did a show together
Right?
called Dead City.
Oh, really?
Negan and Maggie go off on their own. It's called Dead City.
Oh, how they did all
Two
their
seasons of
spinoffs.
it, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know they were one of them.
It's fucked up, man. She hates him the whole time, but she helps him.
Yeah, but Bruce has a lot of PTSD. Obviously, that's a huge focus of every Batman story.
Yeah.
So I feel like when he's on top of Superman, you could say like he feels like Joe Chill at that moment. He's the one, you know what I mean? And the guy on the ground is either young Bruce or it's his dad begging for Martha's life. And that PTSD probably kicks in like, holy fuck, I'm Joe Chill. Like I am what I hate the most in the world.
Well, exactly. He was he was watching a frightened little Bruce Wayne beg for his mom's
The
life.
years have helped it. Here's the thing. All the defenses for it, I kind of am okay with. The execution, I still don't like it.
No, I didn't.
I'm never gonna like it.
I didn't like how they went about it.
Right.
But I totally understand what he was probably thinking in that moment.
If they would
and
have
it helps me get through it.
Would it have been better at all if Superman said "Save my mom" or "Save Martha Kent" or like would anything help that? Save
I
my
think
mom.
if he said if he said the last name, it's more impersonal.
Right. Save
it
my
had
mother.
to be personal, but save my mother maybe would have. I think he needed to say a American name.
Yeah, because
for
a lot
Bruce
of people
to be like, wait, an Earth person is your mom?
I think the Martha thing was his mom. That's like it's Bruce's mom.
Here's what's stranger to me though that he said Martha, not my mom, is the fact that nobody fucking says.
Yeah, that's true.
Name.
Nobody says like say.
He wouldn't just go. He wouldn't just go. Martha. No, he would have been like Mom.
Maybe, but at the same time, he might have been trying to convey the name to Bruce, so Bruce knew who to look for.
And
like again, if he just says "mom," there's a chance.
You mean the world's
Bruce
greatest detective?
Yeah, well, I know, but Superman doesn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
Again, back to arguing against my own distaste for this whole thing.
Mike likes it. Let's go.
Well, I don't like it. No, I'm just saying
Mike's a huge BVS
there are some arguments to be made against it, and I'm going to say this. He knows he's Bruce. He knows he's Bruce. He knows. I'm assuming at that point he's probably done a lot of research on this man because he's already been. Looking
it sucks.
He's already been looking into the Batman.
The Ultimate Edition shows Clark in Gotham doing a ton of like detective work.
Yeah,
all that's cut in the theater version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'll talk about that later. But so much.
What I love is like so Clark's doing all this stuff. He's already looking into the Batman. So by the time he finds out that he's Bruce, you know that he's probably looked into his family history too. So he probably knows that Bruce's mom, who passed, was named Martha. So
why did you say that name?
Perhaps in Superman's mind, since the entirety of their fight, he's trying to get through to Bruce, like, "Hey, I'm not a bad guy. I need your help."
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, maybe this is my last ditch effort. Maybe if I say my mom's name, he will.
See, I don't think it was a
plan
plan in Superman's head to try and.
Well, no, like maybe
him.
it's like no. I don't think it was to confuse him. I think it was Superman's. I mean, Batman was kicking his ass.
It was
in comic accurate, by the way, because Batman knows how to fucking take down every single person in the Justice League.
Right,
as a contingency plan for every single one.
I love that they did that. And I love that in Superman's mind, maybe like as a last ditch effort, it wasn't his plan. It was just like a fucking Hail Mary kind of thing. Like maybe if I just say this, maybe something will get through to him.
Yeah.
So I could see that.
Okay. But in my opinion, I don't think anything Superman said there with the name had anything to do with he won't kill me if I say this. I think it was all save my mom.
Yeah, I think he was genuine.
He knew he was dying in that moment. Like, please just save my mom if you're going to kill me.
Yeah, I don't think he was playing head games.
I don't think he was doing any of that kind of stuff.
I think what's dumber than that moment might be right before it when like Lois has that staff and then she just fucking chucks it and he's like, "By the way, I need that."
Yeah, and
she's
then
like, "Oh, go get it."
it.
They just needed something for Lois to do. But let's rewind. Let's go back. Zack Snyder starting this universe. Of course, we were going to start with some BVS because it's the bad idea of the episode, and we'll get back to it. But all right, so obviously this was what 2 years after The Dark Knight Rises came out.
Yeah.
Studios were really excited about the realism of the Dark Knight Christopher Nolan's trilogy and how well that did. So they wanted to try to keep it grounded, as realistic as you can for like a Superman movie.
And in fact, he's not credited for anything, but I do believe Snyder asked Nolan many times for advice on doing the.
Nolan's an executive producer.
Yeah,
a lot of
he's
people.
credited. He is credited somewhere then.
He is. Yep, he's a part of the movie. And a lot of people, because it was rumored that this was going to be a connected universe back in the day.
Because he was helping, yeah.
Exactly, like Christian Bale's Batman in this universe. Of course, that never happened. But you had a lot of choices. You had like Guillermo del Toro, who's a great director. He was outright offered the movie. He turned it down. You had, I can't remember who it was, but you had somebody who pitched them like a 3-part, like a 10-hour trilogy, like Lord of the Rings style.
Oh.
And they didn't go for it. Yeah, they didn't go for it. So he landed on Zack Snyder. At this point, he was mainly like the 300 guy. He was Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
If
300's amazing.
If you watch the Man of Steel, the Dawn of Justice extended edition, and the Snyder cut of Justice League, it is 10 hours.
That's
so
true.
It kind of happened.
That is true.
And you know that fucking Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman is a lot better than the.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's a lot better.
It is, and I want to get into that a little bit too when we get back to it because
it's just like
the theatrical version was very rushed because of everything they took out.
Yeah, it was.
That's just like the 4-hour fucking Zack Snyder Justice League.
It's just a lot to sit through, but it is.
It's
so
10
much
times better than what we got in theaters.
Yeah, for sure, agreed. But the first movie, Man of Steel. Mike, you said you just rewatched it earlier and you forgot how how based it is on Krypton at the beginning of the movie.
So here's the thing. I have a funny story to tell about this movie. First and foremost, I have not seen this movie since I saw it in theaters. I never watched
since
it
you left work to go see it.
And this is the funny story. Yes,
12 years later. Okay.
When I was working at a local gas station, I was supposed to be the closer. We closed at 10 o'clock, but they were having a later showing of Man of Steel, and it was my birthday.
Yeah.
I faked being sick, and I set the alarm to the place a half hour early so I could leave. I did get a write-up for it, but it was worth it because why not? This particular store had been one of those stores that was always like dead after 9 o'clock. So I'm like, you know what? We're not losing any fucking business if I close it now.
Nobody's showing up.
For like an
15
hour
cars
leading,
as soon as he leaves.
an hour. Well, I guess somebody did try to come in, but the lights were all off, so I don't know why somebody tried to come in.
Of course, because people are fucking idiots.
That's true.
For the first
You open?
Sir, there's nobody in there.
An hour leading up to me leaving, I faked being sick the entire time because I knew I was on camera and they could watch it. So like,
you faked being sick.
I kept
That's
going.
hilarious.
I kept going to the bathroom like
Like
every
a lot,
10
right.
minutes, acting like I was throwing up.
What'd you do in there?
and all
Just
this.
stand on your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sick.
I'm so sick.
Faking sick for the camera is fucking hilarious.
I mean, that's big brain moves right there.
You should have like overdone it, like, oh.
Oh no, I was like holding my stomach as I'd walk to the bathroom.
All to save Zack Snyder's masterpiece.
All to see the Man of Steel. And you know what? It was a great theater experience. I will say that. I really enjoyed the movie when I saw it the first time.
That's good on the big screen, yeah.
I completely forgot that like the first 20 fucking minutes of this movie is all Krypton. And
it's all Russell Crowe.
Like we're getting it was about 10 12 minutes in. It's like, were we still fucking on Krypton? Like, what the fuck's going on here?
Someone was fucking on Krypton.
You really went in depth with this origin story, the backstory of Superman. I'm like, damn.
For
okay.
once.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
No, I wasn't mad at it. It was just shocking because normally the story of Superman is, he came crashing down to Earth because Krypton blew up. We don't know anything about what happened before that unless you watch shows that are based on Superman. You get a lot more backstory.
Yeah, of course.
But the movies never dive. The movies never dive into that, you know?
Right.
Like
Jor-El's like the Bardock. We see him for a little bit usually, but only that one little quick scene where he's dying on Planet Vegeta.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Oh shit, sorry.
Bardock totally gets killed.
Jor-El was a scientist on Krypton.
He's a badass scientist.
Yeah, he's one of the head scientists, and
yeah, he's a badass.
I don't know if the movie really doesn't dive too much into this backstory of it, but Zod and Jor-El were friends at one point before.
Yeah,
everything happened.
They did everything together. Like,
yeah. So I think, and I mean, Zod does mention later in the movie that he'd do it again, but it does bother him.
It haunts him every day.
Yeah, right. He had to make the hard decision. In his mind, as the villain, what he thinks is the right decision.
And they say in that movie that everybody for the last couple decades has been created, and they have a specific job and a specific thing implanted in their brain. Like, this is what my duty is.
Right.
And Zod, I almost said Michael Shannon. Zod says in the movie, I was programmed to make our society live, and the only way to do that was to kill him. That's why he says, there's not a day that goes by I don't regret it, but I would do it again because it is my duty.
Yeah. Yep. He says,
he wasn't born and then mind fucked into being this person. He was literally created to be this person.
He said, I'm going to kill your son and build Krypton on his corpse. So that's a cold fucking line, dude.
That is a cold fight. Yeah.
Michael Shannon is, by the way, fantastic in this movie.
I know you're just a memory. Do you feel as well?
Yeah.
Do you feel his pain as well?
I think Zod might be the best part of the movie. Like, he's Michael Shannon's so good.
Man of Steel, yeah. Zod is one of the best parts of the movie. Yeah,
he's fantastic.
This movie doesn't suck. Man of Steel doesn't suck.
No, it doesn't suck. I would say I like it more than I don't.
There are things that bother me.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Henry Cavill's in too good a fucking shape.
Henry Cavill's amazing.
It's ridiculous.
That can't be real. CGI.
Here's the thing. One, why did he just randomly have that suit in wherever the fuck he was? What was it?
Like when he was talking to his dad's hologram?
Yeah.
And it flipped out?
Yeah. And then he suddenly gets a suit. They didn't have that suit in fucking Krypton. So why did they just know to have a red-blue suit? They didn't have red-blue suits.
I think he says there's an extended version, I believe, where he says it was modeled off his body. He assumed his son would eventually be the same.
Why is it red and blue? Why not?
Why are GameCube discs so small?
There was no. I'm just saying it seemed like lazy writing for it. It was like lazy writing for it to just be there.
Okay.
I wish there would have been a better.
He always got his suit from the ship he came in.
But no. There is some comics where they take the blanket that he came in, that he was wrapped in as a baby, and his mom Martha actually sews the suit out of that material.
So she has Kryptonian thread that can get through the suit?
Well, it makes more sense than fucking
that makes less sense. That makes less sense.
I hate that.
How would she sew that suit?
Well, if he
you can't just put a pin through it and sew a suit.
You don't know that.
Do American pins penetrate Kryptonian?
Hold on, because on Krypton, they don't have special powers, so their fabric isn't going to be impenetrable.
But the fabric is impenetrable. It's well known in the comics that his fabric is impenetrable.
Oh yeah, because you don't really see tears in his suit, do you?
Well, it depends on if he's fighting.
If he's fighting
Doomsday,
somebody,
right.
Because Doomsday is Kryptonian, can get through it.
Well, Doomsday and Dawn of Justice is a fucking abomination.
Yeah. So all this
Doomsday was always kind of an abomination.
Yeah, but it's just weird
how
it came to be, and
all this says
I have a whole another thing to say about that when we get to there.
All this says is Superman got his suit from a Kryptonian scout ship that crashed on Earth millennia ago. Ship contains holographic Jor-El, who reveals the suit and explains that the SCS stands for hope. The suit itself is the same kind worn by Kryptonians in the past. That's all it says. So all we can assume is that those suits are just in there because that's what they wore.
Yeah, so fuck you, man.
It's just fucking weird, okay?
It's fucking I guess that's what they all look like.
I want a better experience. I don't know.
Was the cape with the suit when it flipped, right?
He does say that they evolved over the years and became more of a militaristic society. So maybe the black ones they're wearing at the beginning of the movie are what they became, and the one in that ship was an old suit they used when they actually had hope. They wore the red and blue.
Yes, it's like when Vegeta rocked the black Saiyan armor, and we're like, what?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
But there's some big points of contention in here. How do we feel about Jonathan Kent, Pa Kent? Great actor.
Oh,
Kevin
I love
Costner.
Kevin Costner.
Stupid.
How do we
fucking
feel about
podcast.
Oh.
Pa Kent?
You mean the fucking why? Like how? Why did he die that way?
Yeah, just him as a character, some of the choices he
Okay.
made. Like, what do we think of Pa? He's a good
Okay.
father.
Hold on. I will say this.
He's a good Pa.
In every version I've seen of Jonathan Kent, this is not me being this is not me.
No, go
This is
ahead,
not me.
Mike.
I haven't like read comics enough of Superman to know how Jonathan Kent is in the comics.
Stupid.
But Jonathan Kent has always been extremely cautious of his son being exposed.
Right.
So he has on many occasions has made comments like, "Don't do that."
That's the
Like-
wrong time to refuse his services.
Oh, you mean when he
Refuse his
died?
services.
Yeah, when
Superman can go so fucking fast, nobody would have ever seen him
Look,
rescue him.
When
Not
he
only
died,
that-
for sure was stupid, but
Not only that, but had Pa Kent taken everybody under the underpass and Superman hadn't gone and got that fucking dog, nobody would have even known. He
Yeah.
could have just walked up to the car, opened the door, the dog would have got out, and they both would have ran back.
What was I supposed to do? Let them all die? I don't know. Maybe.
listen,
Zack
that's-
Snyder.
Hold on, that's actually
Like, you're going to
No.
justify he should have let that bus full of kids die
that is
to hide his powers?
that would be a Jonathan Kent thing. He wouldn't have said maybe, but
Well,
he
then
literally
Jonathan
he would
Kent
have
sucks as
he
a
would have
character.
said I don't know.
I don't
like-
know the comics at all about Superman, but it sounds like he's a
All I'm
shitty
telling-
character if that's how he always is.
He has always been trying to protect his son's secret, not wanting him to be exposed because
But
Over the death of maybe 20 kids.
Yeah, but
He has
the thing
always
is-
he has always been afraid of people taking him away and testing
That's fair.
doing tests on him.
But like when he gets older, I don't know. It gets to a point where he's like, the world's not ready for you. They're never going to be ready. We are never going to be ready for him.
Oh God, I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody like that actually truly existed,
It'd be
it
terrifying.
would happen exactly how it's how it goes in the
Absolutely.
movies.
That's
If
what
you
I love about Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman is I like the more hopeful side of it. But the Zack Snyder got the realism. If this man existed, people would immediately be like,
Oh.
we have to kill him.
Plus-
He's going to turn on us.
Plus, if you read the context of what Pa Kent is saying, at one point he even says, he basically says, we're a Midwestern town.
Yeah.
In the middle of the country, God belt, like the Bible
Mhm.
belt,
Yeah.
God-fearing country. If they see a God, people are going to question everything.
Mhm.
And you can't fuck with people's beliefs like that. So I've been to that part of the country. Those
Yeah.
people are very much into
Bible
Jesus.
Belt.
They love them some Jesus.
Hey, he is
And
right.
they don't
Like,
want
as-
anything going against that.
He's
And it
right.
would-
As soon as like Kal-El's gift is revealed, it's gonna change the world. Like that's
People-
true.
People see him as a god. By Dawn of Justice, he has that statue.
Yeah.
And Scoot McNairy, who I love in this movie,
yeah.
Oh,
he
it's so good.
he pulls himself up there and spray paints false god on there
False
because exact reasons that Pa Kent said was going to happen. Like it's
Yeah.
just I don't know. I think he was right in one part that he shouldn't be exposing himself.
I get
but
him hiding the gift.
but he
yeah, but
Well,
like,
does-
you should never expose yourself, guys.
I disagree.
yeah, I mean,
Wait, should I
my
not
per-
disagree to that?
my personal hero is Louis C.K., so I have to disagree with you there, bud.
And Pee Wee Herman.
Let's agree to disagree.
I mean, I think I'm just right. Pull your dick out whenever you can.
That's true.
But also fine. We'll agree to disagree. Okay, so but like, okay, does Superman inspire hope in this movie? Does he feel like Superman?
And Man of Steel.
And Man of
Fuck
Steel.
No.
Yeah,
By the-
yeah.
By the
That-
end, maybe.
By the very end of the movie, maybe.
Yeah.
Does he inspire hope? I know this is young. He's learning his powers. Obviously, Zod is his first like big fight ever. His first challenging fight.
I think his
But,
only
like-
fight ever.
Yeah, his first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's what a lot of Superman fans don't like about the movie is it is a 180. For me,
Yeah.
someone that doesn't care about the character, I'm fine with a different direction. But I
Here's the
get
thing.
if you're a big fan and you're like, this is not Kal-El, this is not Superman, this doesn't even feel like Superman. I get that.
He just becomes Superman
yeah.
too damn fast.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. I do.
He goes from like hiding his abilities to putting the suit on and being like, "You need to let me stop this man." It's like,
Yeah.
and Lou,
Dude's got Riz and confidence.
you know, yeah, and Lois, like she just immediately loves him.
Oh
Like-
yeah,
Like when he's gonna turn himself into
Wow.
Zod,
I immediately love
they've
him.
only seen each other maybe 3 times,
Yeah,
and she's like, Why are you doing this for
Corey,
me?
he came around that little house when the clothesline, and I was like, "Who's that?"
No. That she already met him when he saved her life.
When he saved her.
Yeah, and that was the one of 3 times she ever met him.
That's the very first time. Okay,
Love
Listen,
is
if,
love,
listen,
bitch.
if you love somebody by the 3rd date, that's a red flag.
Look,
That's
a
dead nose me
hunking
there.
man comes around the corner like Henry Cavill and
Oh yeah.
pierces his
Yeah,
laser
and
vision through you and saves your life. You're not going to fall in love?
I'll jerk off to him a couple times,
Yeah, I mean, like any red-blooded American.
but I'm not going to fall in love with him right away. If he touches me with one of his pecs, maybe.
Corey's like, we're just hanging out right now.
Yeah. Burn me with your laser eyes again.
Okay, so we kind of agree that this version doesn't really inspire hope. He doesn't feel like Superman
No.
in that sense. And I mean, obviously, good.
I do want to say, because you're
I
talking
was inspired by hope. I
you were
hope
talking-
he takes his shirt off again.
You were talking. Well, he does that.
He does so many times, and I love it.
I will say, when you mentioned about
He'd make a good Wolverine.
Superman fans not liking Man of Steel, I'm getting really annoyed with how many fucking people online right now are bitching about the new Superman movie, saying that that's not Superman.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, we gave up Man of Steel and Henry Cavill for this. I'm like, you
Well,
guys
that was going to
realize-
happen.
You
The
guys
pendulum
realize
swinging
this,
back and forth.
This is comic book accurate Superman we're getting now. Like, this is the full fucking, like, literally off the pages Superman.
As much as I love the direction Man of Steel went, I did like the grittier version of Superman.
Oh yeah, me too.
I feel like after I see David Cornsweet as Superman, I'm going to fully switch my favorite Superman.
I think I'm going to tell you right now, just from the clips, because I love that. I love and hate that we're getting clips, because we're getting a lot of them actually.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching all of them.
A lot of the clips that I have seen, I have loved every single one. And people are like, "Oh, we're getting a James Gunn campy. Oh, here's a joke like Guardians." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, people.
Justin over at Epic Film Guys, I want to give him a shout out real quick because he was actually quoted on the DC website after seeing it. He woke up to do his review and saw online that he was being quoted.
That's sick.
awesome.
Good for
by
him,
James
dude.
Gunn himself.
I don't know. From what I've seen, I'm looking forward to July 11th. I cannot wait to see this movie. I think I'm going to love it. That is my prediction right now. I think I am going to love the new Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Superman fan.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm a villain guy. We know this. And I do love the character of Lex Luthor.
Mike is a villain.
Regardless. Yeah, I am a villain. Regardless of who plays them, as long as they play them okay. Like, they don't have to be great. They just need to be better than Jesse Eisenberg. Kevin Spacey did an amazing job as Lex Luthor, I thought, in the really awful Superman Returns movie.
Go back and watch it. It's not nearly as bad as we're all.
You know
remember.
what? It probably isn't that bad compared to fucking Dawn of Justice. It's probably better. I'm just like, Kevin Spacey killed it as Lex Luthor. Gene Hackman, the original, the goat of being Lex Luthor. Yep. We all know how I feel about Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor. I believe he's the best that's ever been put to screen, and it's nice that that seems to actually be a common sentiment nowadays, that a lot of people feel that way. It's not just me.
He used to be the best one.
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to the most about this movie is Nicholas Hoult, who I guess grew up with Smallville.
Yeah.
He said he used Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor as influence for how he chose to act as the character. So I think I'm going to love Lex Luthor in this movie.
God damn it.
What?
Everybody on the podcast, get ready, because if Nicholas Hoult destroys this, Mike's going to give the credit to Rosenbaum. We're not going to stop hearing about him.
Well, I won't even say this if you don't want me to, but it's no spoiler. But I watched Sean Chandler's out of theater reaction.
Why'd you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you didn't get to it yet.
No, but as far as Nicholas Hoult, he said that he's the most, you can't wait for his comeuppance. He said he's so insufferable. You fucking hate him.
That's what you want Lex to be.
That's what you want Lex to be. Yeah.
So that's what he said. Broad thoughts about Lex Luthor. He liked him, and he said he's fucking. You can't wait for him to get.
I wanted Jesse Eisenberg to get it so he'd shut up and stop being on the screen.
Yeah, just so he'd stop being the fucking Riddler.
Yeah. He sounds a lot like the monkey that he was wearing on the shirt when you first see him.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Where are my Harlem monkeys?
Oh, God.
But just an idea of like how you can never please anybody. Actually, that what's that 2006 Superman Returns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like broke these down side by side. How it's like Superman Returns, not enough action, people were mad. This, too much action, people were mad. Superman Returns, he did an impression of Christopher Reeves, people were mad. Man of Steel, he didn't try to be anything like Christopher Reeves, people were mad. Like they're just going back and forth. They're polar opposite. Man of Steel tries to do something different, people were mad. This one more conventional, people were mad. They just can't please them.
No.
Yep.
And it's going to be the same thing with the Corn Sweat one. People are going to hate it.
There were going to be people with the Corn Sweat one, regardless, because of how the Henry Cavill thing was handled.
And Snyder fanboys.
Oh, and I understand that.
The Snyder fanboys and Henry Cavill fanboys are two very big groups right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got rid of Zack Snyder and then got rid of Henry Cavill, there's going to be backlash.
Yep. Yep.
And I hate that because I'm so sick of review bombing movies. So sick of it. Can we just please see a movie and see it for what it is
and be honest about it? Yeah.
Be honest instead of just going in with hate.
The critics for Man of Steel on Rotten Tomatoes have it at a 57%.
Yeah.
Well, critics can suck my chew.
They're going to say the movie doesn't understand the character.
The audience score gave it a 75, which is not terrible.
No, not terrible.
As of right now, with the early screenings, the new Superman.
This is very early on, keep in mind.
So, yeah, it's had early screenings. This is just based off of 143 reviews of all critics. Is at an 87%.
All right.
So
we in business, boys.
I have seen some people come out and say that they hated this movie that have seen it already, thinking it's the biggest piece of trash they've ever seen. I don't understand, but
wait to see it for yourself. Maybe it'll disappoint you.
Well, I'm really excited about it, so it might.
Don't you hate being excited about things?
That's usually how it works. When I go into things expecting it to suck, I actually usually end up enjoying it.
Yeah, this is going to be the best movie,
or I at least can make it through it without being like, "This is fucking dumb."
My prediction my prediction when we talk about this movie is I'm going to be the biggest fan of this movie.
You think so?
Out of the three of us,
I think so.
Corey, you think I'm actually going to have things I don't like about it?
This just in, Corey loves superhero shit.
I'm not saying you're going to have bad things to say about it, but I think I'm going to have less bad things. I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy the entire movie.
This is Corey's bold prediction right here.
It's not really that bold. No,
that's true.
Everything I've been seeing, the friends of mine who have seen it already and have said things about it, I trust them in this category because I am a superhero fanboy.
Yeah, let me guess. You're also predicting you're going to like Fantastic Four the most.
Probably.
Yes.
Well, that was true.
To be fair,
that's lock it in.
To be fair, as far as this podcast goes, it's not a stretch to be like Corey's going to like it the most, Adrian's going to hate it the most, so I'm going to be somewhere in the middle.
And sometimes it changes.
It's usually 90% of the time. That's usually
that's like 80 to 90% of our formula.
Back to formula.
But occasionally,
occasionally we'll get something where like I really love Blood and Honey.
But occasionally,
Corey was kind of.
I was just going to say Blood of Honey. Yeah, and I fucking hate. Like, how can you even dignify this piece of garbage? Second one, not as bad
because it's fun.
Did you finally see the second one?
Fun.
Yeah, watch the second one. It's not terrible. It's kind of terrible, but it's not terrible.
Great. I'm going to watch that and probably hate it.
It's terrible in the best way possible.
There's so much more gore. It's bad.
It's not like the first one. This is bullshit.
This is bullshit.
I also kind of like that they actually talk in the second movie.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Now I'm really not going to enjoy it.
All right, guys. But the last question for Man of Steel.
Yes.
The killing of Zod. How do we feel? The neck snap.
Look, I don't expect to see that in the new Superman we're going to get because it's very comic book accurate.
I'd be shocked if anybody dies in the movie.
But somebody's going to die. Somebody's got to die.
You think?
There's.
Well, I mean, like one of our main.
The main characters. I don't think any main character is going to die now.
Yeah.
Do I believe? Was I okay with Zod being killed? Yes, because in that moment, he was really faced with a really hard decision, and he made a human decision, if you ask me, by snapping his neck to save everybody else. A human would have done that.
Human. I've never snapped any necks. The fuck's that about?
In Superman comics, he would have fought with it so much, and Zod would have eventually overpowered him, and Zod would have killed those people.
Right, exactly.
And then Superman would have had to fight with himself about, oh my God, what if I would have done this instead?
He quite literally says at the beginning of that fight, this only ends one of two ways, with you dead or with me dead.
Yeah.
And he knows at that point, Zod's not fucking playing mind games. He'll do it.
And like at the moment when he's like getting ready to shoot the laser at that family, he's telling him to his face, he's like, this is never going to end. I'm never going to stop. You either kill me now or it's just, I'm going to kill this family because I'm never going to stop. And people are like, well, Superman could have smashed his face in the ground or flew him away. It's true in that moment, he probably could have. But the bigger point is Zod's never going to stop. He's never going to let up, and eventually he's going to overpower him. Like Superman
never going to give you up.
He's never going to give exactly. I hate that people are like, he could have stopped. Like he didn't have to snap his neck there. Like no, he didn't at that moment. But he had eventually he had to do something like that.
Did I miss something where he couldn't send him to the Phantom Zone again? Because
he said when Krypton was destroyed, the Phantom Zone was basically destroyed too. That's how they got free.
Yeah. But what Jor-El's ghost memory thing explains off camera, because he says, I can explain to you, and then you can help Cal do it, or you can walk Cal through it. But he says that he can help her put them back in the Phantom Zone. So,
but does he ever do that? And then I'm
assuming he explains that off screen, because you don't see it happen. Because it goes to a different scene after he says that, and then when we come back, he's helping her escape.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So, yes, if the writing would have gone differently,
if you knew for sure there was no way to send him back to like the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, if there was no way, like maybe she may have never. I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't know if he ever really gets a chance to talk to her again before that fight happens. So I mean,
yeah.
To be fair,
TBF.
At the end of Superman 3, back in the day with Christopher Reeve, he does send them back to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah,
that's the end of the movie.
I think maybe that was Zack Snyder's way of being like, hey, we're going to play like a little homage to the original Superman films, but twist, he's going to kill him.
Did you love that the pods they put him in to send him to the Phantom Zone at the beginning of the movie were just big dicks?
Yeah. That's the first thing I said when we went to the theaters and I saw it, is I'm so glad I came to see Superman dicks.
And for anybody that doesn't know and not a big Superman fan, to make the third DBZ reference of this episode, it's like the Dead Zone.
Yeah.
Man. Did Dragon Ball Z take inspiration from Superman?
Yeah, right? What's going on?
Oh, gee, I wonder.
Yeah.
I feel like Superman inspired a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
But yeah, my biggest thing with the movie is just beautiful. It inspired a lot of stuff except hope. At least this movie. Yeah, so it's like overall, the movie's beautiful because fucking Zack Snyder is great at that. Like the switch from CGI to practical is so seamless. It looks. This movie still holds up like today. It looks fantastic.
For sure.
The sound design, the score is amazing because it's Hans Zimmer. This is an incredible score.
Yeah.
I like Henry Cavill. I like Amy Adams. Their chemistry is okay. I love Zod. Lawrence Fishburne's a good little cameo. The fight at the end is fucking epic. I'm okay with him snapping the neck.
Michelle.
Yeah. Wait, Michelle's in this?
The one big henchman is Michelle from Dodgeball.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, how did I forget to mention that? I didn't even notice.
You know my insigliere, Michelle.
But I do get the hate about the movie at the same time because it doesn't feel like Superman. This is a completely different take. It's kind of like a darker retelling, I guess, of Superman too.
Yeah.
But like,
I can take myself out of that though.
Exactly. For me, it doesn't bother me because I'm not invested in this character. Like, if
I'm not really either. DC's less my thing than Marvel.
Yeah.
So I think I can remove myself a little more from it. And I've never liked Superman.
Yeah.
So a fresh take on it was kind of nice to me.
Right. So if you give like Spider-Man, I love Spider-Man, right? If you have a universe where he's like snapping necks and like he's just always a total asshole, that's a different take on the character, and I probably would be outraged by it.
I'd be pissed for sure, but if they did it right, I might enjoy it.
I'd be like, this isn't fucking Spider-Man. So like,
if Spider-Man pulled out a pistol and started shooting at us, I'd be pissed.
That'd be hilarious, though.
I'd be so mad.
Well, I mean, Miles, no, he might. cut that.
Because he's black.
So you get it?
We got it.
That's so fucked up. But I get the complaints about the movie. I share in some of them, but overall, I really do like Man of Steel because I'm not the biggest traditional Superman fan.
Yeah.
That's what I would say about the movie. Those are all my thoughts.
I like Man of Steel still.
Yeah.
I enjoy it for what it is. It is a bit slow, and then it's way too fast.
And then it's nonstop.
And he's Superman too fast, and Lois
The
loves
flying
him too
sequence
fast,
is
and-
cool though.
Yeah.
The flying sequence was
is
pretty
cool.
dope.
He again too fast though. Like,
yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
went from just knowing he could jump really far or do some cool.
He did a
things
couple
to,
Hulk jumps.
Oh, I
to
can
like
fly
fucking-
now.
Yeah. Henry Cavill, though, that might be my favorite tiny acting moment in this movie, is like how he laughs out loud and like, that's how you'd react. Like, holy fuck, I'm flying.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes.
Such a great acting
He
choice.
is great as Clark Kent and
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah. So, I mean, Man of Steel and Mike, kind of same thing. Pretty solid. You still enjoy it more than you
I
don't?
still enjoy it for the slight things that bothered me that wouldn't have bothered me.
Mike just hates the
before.
red and blue suit.
Fuck America.
Where
That's
did it
basically what I'm
come
saying.
from?
Why red and blue, though? Why not yellow and pink?
Can't
Yeah,
even
why
cut
not
a
yellow and
pizza.
pink? Yeah, can't even cut a pizza with that.
Yeah, Mike, why not red and blue as opposed to what? Why not what?
Why not? Well, why? Is
Oh,
it
you
red
mean
and
like
blue?
their black suits?
Yeah, they have the black suits. Why?
Oh,
There
okay,
is
so
a-
you
there
needed-
is a there's
They
a black
needed
suit
black
Superman.
suit for after the death of Superman.
Oh, yeah. It's
Oh, you mean
symbolic, of
that's,
course.
That's true. That's true. Which we do fucking get. Anyway,
We'll talk
No,
about
Man
those in another day.
Man of Steel holds up.
Yep.
It's still a solid movie. It's made of steel.
Did you say it's made of steel?
Yep.
It's made of steel.
Sol-
All right, we'll end it on that.
It's solid. It's solid as steel.
Steel
All right.
is Shaquille O'Neal.
So, moving on. I know we spent like 20 minutes at the beginning talking about
We did.
this, so we don't have to hash out everything. But Batman versus Superman, I know all three of us saw it in theaters. Corey, I might have saw this with you.
I think we did go see it together.
Here's the thing about this movie, man.
Hmm.
Like, the cons, like the theories are there, right?
Hmm.
Like the opening scene of the movie is very fucking good. I mean, after Batman's
Oh,
parents
yeah.
die again.
No, that's actually even good too. I mean, I know we got to witness it in slow mo.
Yeah, it's slow mo.
Very
We really
Zack
did.
Snyder.
We really did. But I like a lot of what the movie's trying to do. Like, I like the theory that I like the belief that Lex Luthor has. Obviously, there's more to it. There's ulterior motives. But I like
Yeah.
how he convinces the public, like, listen, this is a god. We need to have a fucking protocol. We have to be able to stop him. He even says something like, you want to craft the silver bullet. You don't want to use it, but you have it there. We don't have to rely on monsters.
That's the thing with Lex Luthor. That's kind of his driving force in all of media.
That's
as far
what he
as-
does.
That's his thing. He is afraid of an invasion. He always preys on the fear of the people to be
Yeah.
on his side to go against Superman. That's
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Right. So I like that.
In fact, in the comics, he becomes the president at some point off of the same,
Yeah.
tactic.
Oh, okay. That's like his whole like campaign.
Yeah, it's just to keep the aliens out.
Yeah, so I like Lex Luthor's motive here, and I just like that motive in the entire movie. Like, I like that message of, like, what if? Like, yeah, he's a good guy. What if, though? We can't stop him. Like, if he wanted to turn one day, he'd blow up our planet in a second. Like, so I get that. I like that. I like Bruce hating Superman because of what he witnesses, because the damage they fucking do in Man of Steel is ridiculous.
Well, that's
Yeah.
I was
Like, he
gonna say
saved the
that.
planet, so I get it, but it's
it was
ridiculous.
very cool. It was very cool to show his perspective of what was
Yes,
happening.
was.
I was going to say that when you were talking about did Superman inspire hope? No, in fact, when we see the Bruce Wayne perspective of what's going on, if you were somebody who had a different perspective of Superman after watching all that, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your opinion isn't this is a monster that needs to be put down, then I
Yeah.
don't know what you were watching.
Yep. So I liked how it was set up. I liked what they were going for. I like some of the moral questions here. Ben Affleck, I really do like as Batman. Like, he's awesome.
I love Batfleck, dude.
I do.
Ben Affleck is easily the best part of Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, dude, he's so fucking good.
And Jeremy Irons is pretty enjoyable as Alfred.
Yeah. Yeah, stacked cast. Just like Man of Steel, but they added some more people.
Yeah.
This is where you get Gal Gadot, who, she's nice to look at. Hey.
Probably the best interest
She
on
has a
any of
great
these
theme.
superheroes, though.
Oh yeah, I love her theme. I think Lex Luthor's theme sucks.
Yeah. You know what that always reminds me of hers? It's like an Amazonian version of like Immigrant Song.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I can
dude.
hear that.
Did you see
And
that?
I love it, and I love it.
One more time for the audience. Think of it now in that mind.
Ah, yeah. Oh yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. But I do.
And she's technically an immigrant.
Yeah.
Get her.
Yeah. That's something else that's bugging me
Detain her.
about this new movie. Apparently, they made like immigration like a thing in this new Superman movie. People are bitching about.
Oh, it's like a theme in there or something.
Superman's always been about that. Like if you watch Dawn of Justice, there's literally signs saying illegal alien where they're picketing outside the fucking courthouse. Like this has always been a theme with Superman. So I don't know why people are like.
That's been a thing for Superman
suddenly,
since the 30s when he was in comics.
Since the dawn of justice.
Yeah, I don't know why people are suddenly like, what the fuck are you doing this with the movie for?
It's just because people need things to bitch about.
I hate today's society.
So I just hate life.
I thought you were going to say I hate today.
Hey, a good death is its own reward. You know what I mean?
If I could just quote Meredith Brooks real fast, I hate the world today.
I hate the world today.
Second episode, Mike's made that joke.
Oh yeah, and she hated the world back in like 19.
I'm guessing. I'm assuming I made it when we just did the How to Train Your Dragons too, huh?
No, I don't know because Adrian responded to it. I don't remember what episode it was. It was a while.
Corey's gonna have to go through the whole log. I know he made that one joke. Katie's like, Corey, please, our marriage. He's like, I have to find the joke
because Adrian said something like, "Is that you said the singer?" And then I said Mel Gibson sings it better, and we all agreed.
Okay. Oh. Corey's going to turn into the guy from How I Met Your Mother staring at Barney every night. I have to find that joke. I know it's a repeated joke.
I'm not doing that.
But yeah, so I liked so much about what the movie was trying to do, and then the movie happened.
Okay, so having just freshly watched the first 2 hours of it, of the 3-hour long movie, I will say there is a lot of stuff in this movie that could have worked. You're right; it had a good premise. The idea that Batman's pissed off at Superman makes sense.
Checks out. Moral dilemmas.
Tell me. Do you plead? You will.
What's with the voice, by the way? Come on.
It flew away.
I like that he used technology to make his voice deeper. I actually like it.
Yeah, but you know what? It is better than the Christian Bale voice.
It's better
in later movies. I will say that
because all he's doing is he's just talking like Bruce Wayne. He just has a modifier on his mask that makes it gravelly.
I still think the best Batman voice is the Robert Pattinson one.
It's good.
Yeah, probably.
I dare say Affleck, maybe himself or one of the directors or something, chose to use that thing after Bale's performance because like those movies are great, but his voice does not hold up.
No.
Maybe it was Nolan's idea. Hey, maybe we shouldn't do this.
Oh yeah, Nolan. He's like, yeah, guys, don't do that.
But
it's true.
Yeah, Affleck was amazing as Batman.
Yes.
I think Henry Cavill is still amazing. He's a good actor. He was a good Superman. He was great Clark Kent.
I like him in everything I've seen him in. So
this movie had
even
promise.
Argyle.
This movie had promise. We could have. Yes, he's pretty funny on Argyle. We could have had a better Lex Luthor. That could have helped the movie immensely.
You say, and you don't say.
Yeah. We could have. This movie could have ended with Batman and Superman saving Superman's mom and getting one over on Lex Luthor, and it would have been fine.
Why did you say that name?
Right. We didn't need the third act of this movie.
Yeah.
In fact, actually,
disagree.
if I have to say, hold on. Actually, we got 4 acts in this movie. I think the third act is when Batman and Superman are fighting.
That's how much of a masterpiece it is.
We didn't need the encore. That's what I'm going to call it. We didn't need the encore.
The epilogue.
We didn't need Doomsday. They didn't need to show us that one. They didn't need to show us Wonder Woman. Like we already got her in the movie.
Yeah.
We didn't need to see her in the outfit.
Yeah.
The problem I've had with this movie since the day it came out was that they were trying to catch up to the Avengers.
Right.
They were put way too much into this, way too many characters. They tried to do too many things in one movie. This was 2 movies.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Everything leading up to the Batman versus Superman fight could have been the end of the movie, and then, well, not leading up to, sorry, the fight itself also. Him realizing that that Superman said Martha.
Why did you say that name?
And then seeing him as a human and the movie end there. And then another one where Lex Luthor finishes his Doomsday and they take him down to stop his, crime and save Well, I'm not going to say it again, but
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I think the end of the movie is the weakest. I think the Superman death has no impact because they're coming back.
right.
They're doing Justice
You
League.
even see the dirt rise up. Right
rise at
before
the end.
credits.
Yeah. So that has no impact. If that's supposed to be like your big moment at the end, it didn't land. The Batman versus Superman stuff is genuinely pretty dope. The fight's awesome. His use of the kryptonite is really good.
My absolute favorite part of that fight, and I rewind it every single time, is the 4 punches. One really good, one kind of good, one barely touches him, one doesn't do anything. Like 4 punches in a row where the kryptonite's wearing off.
It's like wearing off, yeah.
And then that last punch, he slams him and he doesn't even move. He's like, fuck. I love that. That's my favorite part of that fight.
Yeah, the fight, their actual fight is pretty enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
All the fighting in this movie is kind of enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Again, not to shit on the Dark Knight trilogy because we love it, but the action, again, way better in the Snyder movies than the Dark Knight movies.
As much as I don't like Doomsday being in the movie, when they fought him, it was cool. Wonder Woman kicks his fucking ass.
When we get the Golden Trio together, it's an iconic moment.
It wasn't as cool as Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America about to fight Thanos, but
that was a 10-year build.
Well, that's the problem, and that's what Corey mentioned. They were trying way too hard to get caught up to Marvel, and they needed to do this.
Dawn of Justice, that movie wasn't out yet, but they did have the first 2 Avengers movies.
They were trying to get to where Marvel already was, and they needed
exactly.
We didn't get the Flash movie. We didn't.
They should have done
the Aquaman movie.
A couple of the origin movies before Justice League.
Here's the thing: we didn't need a Superman origin movie. We didn't. We already know the fucking origin of Superman. We've fucking seen it a million times. Yeah. We didn't need a Batman origin movie. Yep. In fact, I'm actually happy that this Batman we got in this was already well established and kind of older. And
he was kind of old man, but
I like that. They went the right route with that. I do appreciate that we got like a Wonder Woman like film that kind of showed where she came from, because that's
Wonder
not
Woman's
something
a
that's
great movie.
That's
Wonder Woman's good.
Probably the best. That's probably the best Snyderverse movie. Honestly, is Wonder Woman, the first one. The second one,
there'd be a good argument. Oh, the second one's not good, but there'd be an argument for that first Wonder Woman movie. It might be his best.
What I know, I think the first Aquaman and the first Wonder Woman are probably like up there as the best.
Kal-El, no.
But I appreciate that we got a
Wonder Woman wasn't directed by Zack Snyder, but
no, but it's in the Snyderverse.
You mean the universe of movies?
I'm talking about the Snyderverse. Yeah. I just mean like this is one of those things where I don't know if maybe Snyder was being pushed to do this or if this was his idea.
Yeah,
because I do know that the studio definitely had a lot of say in some of the things he did, and that like it caused some issues.
Right,
but
this movie is just like too many cooks in the kitchen. Right, there's too much happening.
Yes.
You got Batman mad at Superman, Superman mad at Batman, while Lex Luthor's trying to take out Superman by using Batman. You have, the Lois Lane and Superman love stuff. You have fucking the Batman and the backlash he's facing from the newspapers because he's branding people and killing people. And you have and then
Wonder Woman trying to steal to find her picture.
Yeah, trying to find her picture. Then you have introducing the Justice League, and then you have fucking Doomsday, and it's like, holy fuck!
I will say,
and then they go into another exposition dump when she gets the email from Bruce that shows all of the clips of the Justice League being made.
Yep.
It's way too much.
Right.
That's why I think he was pushed. I think he was rushed to make the Justice League movie happen.
Because there's like 3 to 4 movies of content within this movie. There's a way to make all these individual.
If they did it correctly, those little fucking snippets that she's watching, those could have easily been end credit scenes to other movies building up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But that's what those could have been.
This also could have been Zack Snyder, like a little kid who's excited to get the story out. He had an idea for Justice League, and he's like, I just want to get to it. It could have just as easily been Zack Snyder.
His Justice League, if you watch the Snyder Cut, is phenomenal.
It is better.
As much as
I wouldn't say phenomenal, but
as much as I like Joss Whedon's work, not the person, but his work, he butchered a lot of what Zack Snyder had.
I'll never forgive him for the way Batman looks at Superman when he shows up to fight Wolfenstein. Never forgive him. He looks up at the sky and goes, my girlfriend's here.
Yeah, how did they take
He's so
Batman, this
excited.
dark, brooding badass from this movie? And he's
fucking
like,
Christ.
Big fucking smile. He pretty much giggles.
and then Zack Snyder's daughter died, and they're like, fuck you, we're making the Joss Whedon version.
Yeah.
They're still dirty for that.
Joss Whedon would have been a perfect person to do a Superman film if they were trying to do a campy comic book accurate Superman film.
Right. Like this. Like it seems like Superman's going to be.
The problem is, I take that back. Joss Whedon would not be the perfect person because
I retract everything I just said.
I retract that. He would have the campiness down, and he would. But Joss Whedon also loves to add some sort of twist in there where like a character you really love is going to die, and he doesn't care if it breaks your heart. Oh, you just got attached to this thing? Gone.
Yeah. Storytelling, sometimes you do that.
I kind of appreciate that sometimes.
Well, no, I appreciate that too, but that's not Superman. Like that doesn't happen a lot in Superman per se.
Right.
Not especially not in like an original like beginning Superman film. You're not going to get that unless it's the Jonathan Kent death. You know, maybe we would have got a better Jonathan Kent death. I like I said, Joss Whedon is a very brilliant mind when it comes to creating the human being himself. We won't really discuss.
So do you think Pa Kent there was telling him no, or was he Sig Heiling?
Oh shit. Maybe that
he
was like
just saying. Maybe he's just saying goodbye.
Well, remember how they thought remember on Earth they think his hope is like an S. Maybe that's like he knew
hope
his
is
language.
spelled with an H. Stupid.
Maybe Paul Kent knew his language, and this in Kryptonian means, "Hey, fucking come save me." And Superman's like, "I don't know what that means." Wait, he's like, "No, save me,
Like,
save me."
And he's in the tornado, like, why didn't that fucker come get me?
He's spinning in the tornado.
I apologize because this is going to happen in this episode and the next episode we do for sure. But he was reaching out and he was going, "Somebody save me." That's
okay. Listen, first of all, I do want to point out one more thing. He's right by the side of a road with a huge ditch.
Yeah.
He didn't even try to jump in it.
But with that tornado, that's a useless fucking endeavor. I mean, I guess you do anything you can to try to. Did you see that was like the biggest tornado I've ever seen.
That was a Brock Lesnar tornado.
That was a Lesnar.
Look, I'm just saying that there's a chance that if he jumped down in that ditch, it wouldn't have been able to pull him up out of the suction wouldn't have been able to pull him up out.
Well,
that's what they tell you to get. No, it is. They literally tell you.
I don't know enough to disprove it.
No, listen. It's an actual thing. If you're in your car and you see a tornado, you pull to the side of the road, you get out, and you get in a ditch.
Get in a ditch.
It's literally what they tell you to do.
Get in a ditch.
Yes, look it up. I don't care if you look it up.
Mike's
That's
Google
real.
tornado in a ditch.
Go ahead.
No, I was actually trying to look up. I was trying to look for that Bill Paxton is who I was looking for. I was just expecting Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt to show up.
Mike was looking up a joke.
I was looking up a joke. Yeah,
like,
I was like, who's in Twisters? But it's
Mike Glenn Powell.
Twisters.
Glenn
Powell.
The second one is Twisters. That's why I couldn't find it because I put Twisters in.
What a fucking idiot!
What a fucking
so stupid, guys! I'm so stupid.
Two things that the Ultimate Edition of this movie had that I was so pissed, like in hindsight, not knowing this.
Yeah.
One thing I really wanted to see is when Batman got the kryptonite. The Ultimate Edition has like Batman learning how to use it. You know what I mean? Learning how to harness it, which is dope. And with Superman in the theatrical release, you don't see him doing like any of the detective work, or any of the journalism.
No.
And in this movie, he goes to Gotham to ask people about Batman, and he sees that there are people in Gotham that are terrified of Batman.
Do you believe?
So Batman isn't the hero either. Superman gets to learn this guy's got some fucking skeletons in his closet. People are terrified of this guy. He's not a hero.
He says to Alfred, "We're criminals, Alfred. We've always been criminals. Nothing changed there."
Right. How many good guys are left?
Yeah. I do like when he says nothing's changed there, and then Alfred kind of he's like, yes, it has.
Yeah, Alfred fights him back a little bit.
And then he tells him this is what happens. This kind of thing, this kind of worry and panic turns good men bad.
Yep. And that was the thing with Superman, how long until he fucking turns?
Yeah.
By the way, just totally off the top of the head, but the interrogation scene when he stands up, all right, let's put our cards on the table, and just snaps the fucking handcuffs. God, I love that moment so much. He said, "I see your name badge in your pocket. That and a half roll of spearmint lifesavers."
He says, and I see the next room over too, where they're getting the tranquilizer ready. You're not going to need it.
Yeah.
He's just fucking.
There is definitely
Henry Cavill's so cool.
There's some nods here,
And nerdy.
which there's going to be some nods in the new Superman movie too, to Smallville, but some characters that were created in Smallville were actually were cast in the Man of Steel movies.
Yeah.
That didn't exist before. That guy that you're talking about, Dr. Emil Hamilton, was not, if I'm not mistaken, was made in Smallville, and then they just used that character's name again. Just like they mentioned the Fordham boy, that was never a guy in Smallville or in Superman lore. That was just a bully in Smallville that they made up.
Oh, and then he ended up okay.
So
they also just say Lana's name.
Yeah, well, Lana's been is part of Superman lore forever.
Will you just let me get my facts out?
Sorry, that was his high school crush.
Yeah,
which in the original Superman films is played by the woman who ends up playing his mom in the Smallville.
Gross.
It's weird.
Two funny things I wanted to read real quick. 2 YouTube comments. One person said, "Best summary of this movie I've ever heard is it's just 2 murderers pissed off at each other for murdering people." And that is kind of fucking nail on the head.
I mean, yeah. This is the other thing. Batman doesn't kill people, right? Like in the comics, Batman's like really hardcore against not killing people.
It depends on the version. Old Man Bruce definitely is hardcore and kind of doesn't care if people die.
I think it makes more sense to have young Batman.
I think that's the version.
Kill.
Well, Old Man Bruce has seen some shit. Okay,
that's true, but like
he's over.
I like a better. I mean, I'm not saying. I just think if I had to pick one way or the other, I like a young Bruce killing as he's learning the ropes. And then maybe he's like, I can't, like, no, I'm no better than them if I'm killing people. Something in
thank you.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it. Because it doesn't say how long it's been, but he does have that Jason Todd suit that he looks at.
Yeah.
That has the ha-has all over it.
Jokes on you.
It could have been not that long ago, and he's still kind of pissed about it.
That's why I think it's true that it isn't that long ago, because he's kind of apprehensive about in the Justice League movies, he's kind of apprehensive about Barry.
Yeah, like he doesn't want him to get too close.
Because Barry's a young kid.
Yeah,
doesn't want to get attached,
even though he recruits him.
That's got major Joel Ellie energy. And then the other thing was someone said, I remember going to the midnight release for this with a friend. After the first 5 minutes with the death of the Waynes and Bruce Metropolis, she whispers in my ear, "I love this film already." About 15 minutes later, she was struggling to stay awake. I've never seen a film unhook someone so quick. Because that's true, man. The first 5 minutes, you're like, "Oh man, this is gonna be good." And
I'm when it first started playing, I will admit I was like, okay.
Yeah,
It was weird that the bats kind of helped Bruce float.
Yeah, I did not like that part.
I didn't understand that, because that doesn't happen. That's not how science works.
That's not how the Force works.
But I mean, whatever. It's a Zack Snyder film, and I had to keep remembering that.
It's a Zack Snyder. Sometimes you have to tell, when you're watching one of his movies, sometimes you have to tell yourself it's a Zack Snyder film.
There's a couple directors
suspend disbelief.
There's a couple directors you have to just go, yeah, he made this movie.
Yeah. What does it suck halfway through? Yep, it's a fucking M. Night.
Honestly, that moment when he's being lifted up with the bats kind of reminded me of something that would have happened in Watchmen, you know?
But Mike, you don't get it. It's like symbolic. It's like his greatest fear is lifting. No, I'm kidding.
Inspiring.
I'm not that guy. If I ever turn into that guy, kill me.
You don't understand.
You know, all right, guys. I think that's
goes Mike with his accent again.
Oh no, Mike's slipping back into his accent from No Country, so we're gonna leave No Country for Straight Men. You know what I mean?
Understand.
You don't. Well, now you're starting to sound like oh God, The Room, Tommy Wiseau.
Oh yeah,
I forgot his name for a second. I'm gonna kill myself tonight.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
All right, guys. On that note, I think that is gonna do it for our good idea, maybe bad, whatever you want to call it.
I just want to point out that I still kind of like the other movie also. Like, I can watch it.
But the theatrical release sucks.
The theatrical release sucks because it's way too quick.
I agree with you. The Ultimate Edition, not terrible.
It's not horrible.
It fills in a lot of gaps that made no sense with the theatrical.
We do this as a good idea, bad idea. To be honest, Batman vs. Superman, the idea was good.
Oh yeah, the problem
the
is
execution.
Yeah, the problem is you take
Wasn't.
Batman versus Superman. That instantly should be like a $1.5 billion movie, and it didn't even make $1 billion. It was that disappointing.
I will say this because I think around the same time Civil War was coming out, right?
Yeah,
I think this was
like
the same
America's
year
or
Civil War.
Marvel's.
Yeah, like Captain America, Captain America: Civil War. I think this is the same time that this was coming out. I will say that the build up to Batman and Superman fighting made more sense with their fighting.
Yeah,
because like they were kind of at odds the entire movie, whereas I don't know. I guess in Civil War it makes sense on why it got to where it got to.
Yeah,
but the build up to them fighting doesn't like. Why are we? Oh, we're just suddenly fighting now because
it doesn't.
That's not.
It didn't feel built up enough for you.
It didn't feel like there was a build up enough for the actual fight.
Yeah.
The resolution of the two main people fighting each other ended better in Civil War, though.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
That fight between Iron Man, Bucky, and Captain America is amazing.
It is.
Yep.
That's the best part of that movie. Oh, it is heartbreaking.
And to
That's
end
the
this
best part of that movie.
And to end this on like movie studios and their shitty fucking greed, because we like to talk about that a lot. This Ultimate Edition, there was, I can't remember the reviewer, I forgot the name, but it's like a respected reviewer, and they said, had everybody in theaters seen the Ultimate Edition of Batman versus Superman, it'd be like 85% Rotten Tomatoes.
It might be one of the best DC movies ever made if they had released the original.
And what sucks is the things they decided to cut. They cut the movie for greed, so they could have one more showing every day in the theaters to try to make more money. And those like 40 minutes that they cut are some of the most important like world building that we needed.
Yeah.
And that's the exact same thing that happened with Justice League. A lot of the shit that they cut was extremely important to the story.
That's what this studio sucks at. Like, you guys don't know what to cut. Because
Dawn of Justice and Justice League, like theatrical cuts, if you watch them, you can tell where edits happened. It's too obvious.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's way too obvious.
Yep. Agreed. All right, guys. But on that note, I think that is going to do it for a good idea, bad idea, Zack Snyder universe. I'm sure we will tackle the Justice League movies in a future episode for some reason. Maybe if this DC world's successful and they build a Justice League, we could talk about that.
I would. I did.
Damn it, Mike! We let me end this episode.
Well, I know we were.
No, go ahead.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. Since we are doing this for the sole reason that we're going to be watching the new Superman when it comes out.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to with this new Superman film?
Oh, I don't know. I think we've talked about it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, there's nothing.
Adrian's not excited for it.
I'm not excited. I don't know what the word is.
Hold on. Let me ask you this: Are you more excited to see the Superman film or Fantastic Four?
Ooh, probably Superman, because it's like the start of something new potentially. Like, I know Fantastic Four is too. Like, it's going to go into the whole new
Fantastic
Avengers.
Four might be good.
Here's something interesting that people might find interesting. I'm more excited to see Superman.
Ooh.
Because I'm really hoping that it finally gives me a DC movie that gives me hope. See what I did? But honestly,
it's right there on the poster.
James Gunn said in an interview just the other day that I would plan on seeing a Batman and a Wonder Woman eventually in this universe. Well, yeah. So he plans on going further.
Yeah, there will be a Batman, but it definitely won't be Pattinson.
No.
I believe right now, I think the next project he's got going on that's going to be a movie is probably the Supergirl movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she Alcock is what's her first name? Ashley Alcock?
One more time?
It's Allie.
Allie Alcock. Yeah, she's already cast and she's already filming.
Without the first name, that was very... Mike's like, the new Supergirl movie. Of course, like, Alcock.
All the
Oh, no. Is this a trans Supergirl movie? Not my Supergirl.
Oh, God.
Allie's got Alcock.
Alcocks.
Hey,
Alcock's going to heaven, am I right? That's not accurate.
In typical James Gunn fashion, though, we are going to be getting some familiar faces in this movie that he always uses.
Before
all right, guys, I think that's going to do it for
before Adrian ends this, I do want to say what I hope happens because of you two fuckers.
Oh, okay.
I hope you both love Nathan Fillion in this movie because you've done nothing but talk shit on his hair.
He looks so stupid.
Well, his hair is looked. I do love that they make fun of his. I love that they make fun of his hair in the film.
It doesn't matter. I hope you both go, fuck, I loved his character. That'll give me vindication. I'll be happy. Even I don't care. I'll just be happy.
Corey, do you know who else looked fucking dumb? Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men, but he was amazing.
Yeah, he did. Holy fuck.
But he's incredible.
He actually looks like Guy Gardner.
He does, actually. Fucking Anton Chigurh is a fucking game changer.
Yeah.
Just imagine if he had decent hair.
All right, Adrian, fucking end it.
Well, guys, on that note, Corey, are you going to keep in all of my on that note?
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, on that note, I think that is going to do it for our pre-Superman hype. Good idea, bad idea, Zack Snyderverse. Like I said, we might do Justice League, both of them in the future, if there's like a reason to, or just because, if you guys want to hear it. But yeah, we're going to very soon be doing our Superman episode, so stay tuned for that. Corey, you can cut that if you don't want them to know, but I think we've talked about it.
That's fine.
They know it's coming.
This is the month of superheroes.
Yeah. But other than that, I'll do Culture Shock's YouTube first because honestly, it's been more active lately. Culture Shock has a YouTube, and Corey, kudos to you. You've actually been posting some stuff on there. Yeah. So different kind of content. It looks like some of them are actually getting some decent clicks.
Our episodes are also getting uploaded there too. Our recent episodes.
Yeah, that happens automatically because none of us are doing that. But guys, with us being halfway through 2025 now, which is crazy, we are officially closer to 2050 than 2000, by the way.
Oh my God.
Take that in, suckers.
Well, I'm old.
Moneyline bet. Which one of us isn't going to make it to 2050? Moneyline.
It's going to be
for
me.
sure.
We're all like me. It's gonna be my.
Which one of us has already went to the hospital for a heart issue?
That's true. Well, I mean, Mike, you were a strong, I think, contender for least likely, and then the heart thing happened. You kind of spiked a little bit.
I've been on medicine for my high blood pressure for a while now.
I have high blood pressure. Yeah,
We're all like, no, I'm gonna die first.
Yeah, no,
you'll
I'm
never
gonna
die first. Me.
Yeah. I'm gonna
but
make
guys,
sure it's me first.
No
I'll
way
do
I'll
it
die
right now.
before me.
Hashtag me too. That's what that means,
I'll do it
right?
now.
But guys, I do have an ancient prehistoric YouTube channel. With it being over halfway through 2025, here was my point. I went back and I looked at all 24 horror movies that I saw in 2024. I already recorded this. I made a tier list for all 24 horror movies I saw from last year. So with us being halfway through 2025, I wanted to do a little rewind. So that'll be coming out soon. We have Superman. Depending on how Superman and Fantastic Four go, I might talk about it on my channel. We'll see how that goes. But you can check that out on youtube.com/Baker Reviews.
Baker Reviews.
Thank you as always, Mike. And
yeah, I'm glad I got to say it because last time Corey said it and it was weird.
No, that's fucking. Why are you? It's weird. But other than that, other than my YouTube, other than our YouTube, Mike, where can they go to help us in a more financial sense? Keep this going.
Yes, over at patreon.com/Culture Shock Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support us and keep the lights on over here. Help us continue to provide you with this weekly content we haven't been providing you with.
We are so back, baby. It's
we're
season 2.
so back. Hey, this is 2 weeks in a row. I think we finally got our shit together. You know, like I said,
Yes.
Life happens. We're all very busy people. Unfortunately, we're adults, so that sucks.
I'm a very important man. Books of rich mahogany.
But I do urge, as I always do, the $5 tier. You get to vote on a monthly poll to discuss or to vote on what we discuss once a month.
Yes.
And you can also have access to our members only Discord, which, by the way, while we were not releasing episodes, we were still very active in. So
yeah.
you guys could have been inside our heads knowing what was already going on because we were keeping our patrons updated.
Guys, don't you?
We probably should have been keeping everybody updated, but
guys, don't you want to be inside of us?
Yeah, don't you want to be inside of us?
You could be inside of us.
But I would like to.
Tim,
I would like to thank. I would like to thank our current loyal patrons, and that is Cam Solly, Bobby Jean, Squigums, Amby, Josie, and of course our newest patron Steve, who we sometimes do live streams with.
Yes. I am Steve.
I am Steve. And of course, the one and only Tim Kent. Tim Man.
I thought that sounds more like you're doing like a play on Tin Man. That'd be great for a Wizard of Oz episode.
Bat Tim.
Wicked 2 coming out this November.
Tim. What in these movies sound like Tom or Time or Save Tim?
There you go.
Why did you say that name?
Other than our Patreon, where else on the social?
Oh fuck! I thought that was our outro. I was so happy. I was like, fucking nailed it. No, I can't use that for the outro. We love you, Tim.
Why did you say that name?
Now you have to keep that every single time we mention Tim's name.
You're stupid.
I wish I had that one.
I'm glad that's no longer existing. But yeah, where else on the socials can they find us, Corey?
On Facebook, it's Culture Shock Podcast. On Instagram, it's Culture Shock 21. On TikTok, it's CS Podcast 21. And on Twitter, X, where I don't spend most of my time these days, it's also CS Podcast 21. But it is where I check your guys' opinion on things. So please come over and let me know how you feel about the Snyderverse. Let me know if you're going to review bomb this new Superman movie. Because if you are, please stop following us. I hate that shit. I hate review bombing for no reason. Like, if you legitimately don't like it,
guys,
fine.
don't stop following us, but good.
Wow, Adrian disagrees.
I disagree.
If
I was
you
just shocked that
legitimately
Corey
hate
said
this
it.
new Superman movie, fine. I'll accept that.
I'll say this. If you review bomb it, I fucking hate you. You're a scumbag, but keep following us.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Come give us 5 stars.
Can I change my mind? That. Do that.
That thing.
I hate you, but
And
I like
in fact,
you.
Yeah.
In fact, if you were a Snyderverse fan and just refuse to watch the new Superman film and you're going to review bomb it, just come give us 5 stars and we'll forgive you.
Oh, hell yeah.
I
5
won't.
stars and say Superman sucks.
Yeah. And leave your name so we can give you a shout out in the next
I accept
episode.
that comment.
Me too.
Who's ending this thing now?
Bro, I was so happy with that outro.
Oh, right. I think that was right. I don't know.